The EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, has said that Xi Jinping's recent trip to Moscow has made the world safer. Borrell believes that the visit has reduced the chances of Vladimir Putin using nuclear weapons. Borrell told reporters that President Xi had made it very clear to Putin that he should not deploy nuclear weapons. China's Peace 12-point Ukraine peace plan, which condemns the use of nuclear weapons, was cited as evidence of Xi's message. Borrell said that the visit had reduced the risk of nuclear war. Borrell also said that the Chinese president wants to minimize the risk of being associated with the Russian military intervention. Even if you don't watch till the end, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more on geopolitics. He added that China was not engaged militarily and there was no sign that they wanted to engage militarily. Despite warnings from the US that Beijing is planning to send weapons to Russia, Borrell said that there was no evidence of this. Borrell said that China was not fully aligned with Russia. He also said that the solution to the conflict proposed by China, which has been dismissed by the US, was not sufficient to solve the conflict but was not entirely pro-Moscow. However, Borrell did accuse China of taking advantage of the situation along with India. China was offering economic support by buying Russian oil at low prices. He added that it was a good business for China and that they couldn't be expected to stop buying Russian oil. Borrell said that he would travel to China soon. 3 other senior EU figures have already visited China. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez will travel to China next week. French President Emmanuel Macron will follow him the week after. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will accompany Macron for part of his trip. Several EU member states have criticized the individual visits following a controversial visit by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in December. Latvia's Prime Minister Krišjānis Kariņš said it allowed China to divide and rule. Macron defended his trip, saying that he would coordinate with EU partners. He said that the EU had a European common view to engage China to the maximum. The EU was pushing Xi to speak to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as well as Putin. Macron said that the EU spoke with a united voice. China was not on the agenda at the recent 2-day summit in Brussels, but it was in the background of almost all topics. An EU official said that the EU was pushing Xi to engage both with Russia and Ukraine. Charles Michel, president of the European Council of EU leaders, will not travel to China with von der Leyen and Macron. Michel was focusing on a potential EU summit with China. A date for the summit had not yet been set, but it might take place before July. The official said that it was up to China to propose a new date. Borrell said that the Chinese president had made it clear that Putin should not deploy atomic weapons. Xi Jinping's visit to Moscow has made the world safer, according to Borrell. China's Peace 12-point Ukraine peace plan was cited as evidence of Xi's message to Putin. Borrell said that the visit had reduced the risk of nuclear war. Borrell accused China of taking advantage of the situation along with India. He said that China was buying Russian oil at low prices and offering economic support. Borrell said that the solution proposed by China was not sufficient to solve the conflict but was not entirely pro-Moscow. However, the Spaniard did accuse China of taking advantage of the situation, along with India. China was offering economic support by buying Russian oil at low prices, he said, adding, "It's a good business for them. You cannot expect China to stop buying Russian oil."